Hello everyone, welcome to Vicar David's 60-second slot. I suppose the one way of gauging how effective someone's words are is how often they're quoted in everyday life, and Jesus certainly proves that rule to be true, because his words are quoted in lots of occasions. For example, Matthew chapter 5 has two phrases that are used very often, salt of the earth and light of the world. If we say that someone is the salt of the earth, then it means that they're effective and they're part of the reality of life and doing a good job. However, we wouldn't want someone to say about us, oh, he hides his light under a bushel, because it means that their gifts and talents are being not used and hidden. So salt of the earth is a good way to think about our Christian ministry. Salt, of course, very useful, very important in Jesus' time. People were paid in salt because it was literally the only way of preserving food, right up to the advent of refrigeration. So we say someone's salary are not worth the salt if they're not being very effective. And similarly, light of the world is a way of showing people something good. And in the context of our Christian faith, that means showing and reflecting something of God's light. Notice that Jesus doesn't say you should be salt of the earth or you should be the light of the world. He says you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. In other words, it's the gospel, God's ministry, God's kingdom has been entrusted to us to put into effect, or not, as the case may be. So to the extent that we are salt of the earth, or the extent that we are the light of the world, that's how God's ministry is to be expressed and shown. And the most important thing about this is to remember that we don't have to be perfect. God doesn't expect us to be perfect, and certainly doesn't want us not to try because we're afraid of not being perfect. All he wants us to do is to show something of his power, to reflect something of his light and glory in the world. And maybe some things might prevent us and stop us from doing that. Shyness, perhaps, or a busyness, or maybe a laziness, or maybe a belief that we can't. It's not even worth trying because we're not going to succeed. Well, in those cases, I would just remember that mission that God has entrusted to us to be his people, to be that salt of the earth, to be that light of the world, is the way that the gospel, the kingdom, God's love is shown in the world. And to remember, if anything holds us back from doing it, that it's not our ministry that's being put into effect, it's God's. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.